Hey Johnny, so thanks for having me here at the FBLA Leadership Conference here in Houston, Texas. I thought that was a lot of fun. What did you think?
So, planning up to the workshop, you were our first thought for having a workshop speaker because, like, meeting you during the summer, it was very like we got to learn a lot from you, and we wanted the same experience for other kids around the Houston area to get the same experience that me, Connie, and Taylor did.
Yes.
So, I felt like workshop went pretty smooth, and we just really had a fun experience.
As you saw, back in Orlando, you had a chance to really sort of play Studio Showdown for the first time, second time as a player, as a consumer. And now here at this conference, you're obviously you're a leader, you're helping to facilitate the workshop, etc. What did you think was different about how you approach the overall game, and what did you think worked really well, and what can we do better?
So, personally, when I was playing the game in Orlando, there were things that like I would skip out on and like
Yes,
miss in information that would make my pitch or just gameplay in general even better.
yes,
But teaching other people the game and teaching the experience,
yes,
you truly learn from teaching. So
yes,
what they missed out on, I like reflected on that and see like, oh, this is what I could have done better, and this is what someone else could have done better.
yes,
And it's just being in the teaching
yes.
experience of it is really like it was really cool.
So one of the things that I've always very focused on as an entrepreneur, as an educator, is the experience, right, for the other young people. And so based upon what you had heard from folks, the attendees, whether it be from your school or from the other schools in the district, what did you think? Did you think that altogether people had pretty positive feedback? Was there anything that they particularly loved? What are your thoughts?
So when I was teaching people how to play the game, the first thing they would bring up is how cool the artwork is,
Yeah.
because people really liked like how like intuitive it like how cohesive everything was,
Yes.
and it was like just it really added to the gameplay.
So one of the other things that I always care a lot about, and I'm like a big Harry Potter nerd, right? I always say like, hey, if you had a magic wand, right, wave that magic wand, change anything to make it better, make it amazing, to get from an 8 to a 10, 10 to a 12. What would that be?
I feel like what could be better is just the beginning gameplay, because the first game you play is what would captivate audience to
Yes.
like either get the game or not get the game.
Yes.
So this game is very like as you continue to play it's like the experience gets better, but then I
Right.
feel like the first game should there should be some a way that it would be more positive. Also, the part that people really liked was the in real life judge, because the AI capabilities, people would be really interested in that after they got the real
Yes.
life simulation of the game.
Yes.
So the way that it would probably be better is the first game have someone like have a friend or someone you know
Yeah.
be the judge, and then have it really be interesting, and then if it's just you and a partner playing the game, then y'all could integrate the AI.
I think one of the other questions that I always like to ask is around Studio Showdown. And one of the things that I was asking people is, you know how like I was talking about the different modules, right? The first module is focused on psychology, understand the needs of the users. Number two is about intro to game design and product design, and then followed by coming up with a business plan and pitching for capital, and then lastly commercial creation and visual storytelling. So when you think about all of that, like I guess, first question is like for you personally, which part are you most excited to kind of delve more into after the business planning and pitching piece, which is Studio Showdown?
I feel like the most part I'm excited about is just the knowledge, because the game is based around and centered around game design. And
Yes.
the people that I've seen had the most fun were
Yes.
the people who like didn't play games and didn't know
Right.
games,
Right.
because they would have to like think on the spot and think
Right.
very fast.
Right.
While for people who knew games, they can
Right.
like work around like the different aspects.
Yes.
So it's really cool to see people at the same time learn about how to pitch capital and
Yes.
also just game knowledge.
Yes. So last but not least, I was gonna ask you, Johnny, is obviously so Taylor and Connie weren't able to join us here today, but if you were to lead a similar workshop like this, let's say at school or perhaps across the district in the future, what are some of the things that you would do differently or perhaps better to really kind of make it super exciting in terms of that interactivity, the competition, the passion, all that stuff? What are some of your thoughts?
Knowing that Connie and Taylor weren't here,
Yeah.
something I would do differently is have each person who knows the game at each board,
Yes.
because like continuously having that someone who can assist you while playing the game would just like
Yes.
keep the game moving, keep it interesting.
Yes.
Because having less people, there would be downtime in parts where like I don't know what to do, so I have to
Right.
wait for the person to come back
Yes.
and explain me the game.
Yes.
So next time I would have each person that who knows the game
Yes.
explaining each board.
Okay, well, last but not least, is any parting words for myself and my trusted colleagues, Alex and Grace here? Any thoughts about we you thumbs up, thumbs down, scale from 1 to 10? You loved it versus one. Oh, that totally kind of sucked. What do you think?
I really liked it because what is it? Because normally when I went to previous workshops and like had keynote speakers, they mostly like brag about, oh, I make so much money now. Like, oh, I'm so rich now. But then it was really interesting to have Michael like not only explain his experience but other people's experience to like see how they got to the point where they are. He didn't even like show like how successful they were. You just knew they were successful based on how much they've grown as a person.
Awesome. Well, with that being said, we call that a wrap here from Houston, Texas. It's been a blast. Thanks for having us, and we'll be back again. Stay tuned.